Do you know that CeCe Winans, the gospel musical legend, never knew that her own husband once went to prison until 10 years into their marriage? Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charity Lawrence, and in this video I share the story of CeCe Winans, the gospel musical legend and the best-selling most awarded female gospel artist of all time. CeCe was born Priscilla Marie Winans on the 8th of October 1964 to David and Dolores Winans in Detroit, Michigan, that is in the United States of America. She's the 8th child of 10 children and the first female child of her parents. She grew up in a Christian home. Her family loved singing Christian songs, so she began singing from the background at a very young age. The first time she sang a solo was when she was 8 years old. The song she sang was, "Fill my cup, Lord." She hadn't even gotten to "Come and quench the thirsting of my soul" when she broke down and began to cry. She loved singing, but she didn't like being the center of attraction. She was comfortable singing at the background, but God had other plans for her. The first professional gig CeCe ever did was singing in the background for Andre Crouch, a gospel artist she looked up to as a child. After she graduated from high school, she enrolled in a beauty school. Not long after that, a Christian TV show known as PTL Club poached her and her brother Benjamin, also known as Bibi, into becoming background singers for them. Her parents, recognizing her talent at a very young age, allowed her to move to North Carolina with her brother Bibi so they could join the PTL Club in 1981. They sang in the background for a while until the PTL leaders asked CeCe and Bibi, that's she and her brother, to duet and solo a song in 1984. After singing that song, Bibi and CeCe began singing and recording songs as a duo. CeCe later left PTL in 1984 before she got married and went back to beauty school. But she kept on going regularly to North Carolina to record songs with Bibi. It was not until 1995 that she decided to go solo, and she recorded her first solo album. That album was a huge success and immediately won her first 2 Grammy Awards in 1996. CeCe shared during an interview that she was so scared to launch out on her own, but she did it, and today she's super successful. CeCe said she met her husband in 1982. Her family went for a bowling event, and her husband, Alvin II, was invited. Her husband was friends with her late brother, Ronald. On the day they met, they didn't even speak to each other until months later. A few months later, CeCe Winans' brothers coerced Alvin II, that's her husband, to go with them to North Carolina to see the PTL show. So he went with them. It was in North Carolina that he and CeCe began speaking to each other. They ended up doing lots of things together. CeCe said she was comfortable around him because he told lots of jokes, so it felt like she was just being with one of her brothers. The night before Alvin left for Detroit, Alvin and Ronald went to CeCe's apartment, and while they were there gisting, Ronald slept off. But CeCe and Alvin spoke all through the night till the next day. During their conversations, they were both shocked by each other's age. CeCe was 17 at the time, and Alvin was 33 years old. CeCe said she was shocked because Alvin did not look like he was up to 33. He looked younger than that age. And Alvin was shocked that CeCe was 17 because of the independent lifestyle that she was exhibiting at such a young age. He thought she was actually older than that age. But the huge age difference did not hold them back from being with each other. They were already smitten by each other. Alvin even told her that he was going to marry her the next year. But CeCe said she only wanted God's will for her life. When Alvin got back to Detroit, they began exchanging letters and speaking to each other on the phone frequently. CeCe said she began to pray a lot about their relationship and sought advice from both her parents and her pastor. Alvin even went to ask CeCe's parents if they had any objections to him dating their daughter. But the only question that CeCe Winans' parents asked Alvin was, "Do you love the Lord?" Because they knew that if Alvin loved the Lord, then he was definitely going to love their daughter and care for her the way he was supposed to. They got married on the 23rd of June, 1984, and they have two beautiful children, and grandchildren. CeCe Winans never knew that her husband was once in prison until 10 years into their marriage, when she found out she was so hurt. This is how she found out. She was booked for a show in Japan and her husband went along with her. On getting to the airport check-in stand, she was allowed to go through, but her husband was detained and deported back to America. When CeCe Winans got back from her trip, her husband then explained to her that in the 1970s, when he was about 18 years old, he was drafted into the Navy, where he got an associate degree in electronics. And then he was sent to Japan to work in a communication station. This was during the Vietnam War. It was in Japan that he got involved with a man who ran drugs in the Air Force. He wasn't selling to anyone, he was just transporting drugs from the Air Force station to the naval base. So it was during one of these operations that he was busted by the Japanese police and sent to jail for 3 years. But he only served 2 years jail time before he was released, and he went back to America and got a job with Xerox. That was where he was working until he went to CeCe Winans' church and he decided to give his life to Christ and became a member. And that was how he ended up meeting CeCe Winans. But the thing that he didn't know was that the minute he left Japan, the Japanese government had put a ban on him from ever entering the country. After sharing this story with CeCe Winans, she forgave him, but she was hurt that he didn't share the story with her before now. She had to find out like that, even though they were already married for over 10 years. My husband said he was so ashamed of his past that he didn't want to even tell anybody. The only person that knew about it was his mother. Even though he was ashamed of his past, God was not ashamed of him. One thing you should take away from this story is the fact that the minute you ask God for mercy concerning a sin, no matter how dreadful, no matter how bad it is, God deletes it and forgets it. Don't allow Satan to keep you ashamed of your past by reminding you of your mistakes. So there you have it, beautiful people. Thanks for spending time with me. Ensure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share with your loved ones. I'll see you all in my next video. Until then, bye.